Nikki is how old?
Like
9 or 10. And how old?
you just asked me that.
I mean, and how tall? Sorry.
13 too.
13 too. Okay. And both of these ponies were bad before, right? Right. These are the kind of ponies that, you know, people give away because they're so nasty at one point. Particularly Nikki, right? Nobody in the barn could ride. Nobody liked him. And, yeah, anyway. So they have come around, and they come for lessons together usually, and I always make them do dressage first, and they don't get to jump unless they do good dressage. So show us some good dressage. You're cheating. You have your oh well, we'll let her do that. We let, actually both these ponies, Chase's pony, they're both going novice, by the way, which is basically 3 feet. And they, well, Chase is just moving up to novice, although she's been jumping that stuff for a while. And Elissa has been very successful at novice. In fact, Elissa did one dressage test at a recognized event where the dressage judge stood up and clapped at the end. Yeah, they can do very good dressage. And what's cool about these kids is that most kids don't really listen to anything you say. They just want to go run and jump. So you basically, the best lesson you can give them is just to set up a bunch of stuff for them. But these two are like thoughtful, and they ask questions, and they think, and they actually critique each other sometimes. What's that? Oh, it's way over there. And they can both put in a pretty good dressage test, and they'll both be at the Marlboro Horse Trials this weekend competing against each other. You can bet on them. Sit back for a minute, Elissa. So watch these guys' position and how poised they are. I mean, especially when they start to jump. You know, you think of kids as like flopping around. These guys, so they're not perfect. I mean, you know, Chase tends to look down too much, and she tends to have her hands a little bit low, and we try to always get her hands up and out in front of her. And a lot of times Elissa's pony is a little bit what we call behind the leg, a little dull, doesn't really want to be active and energetic into the bridle and stay around. Sometimes one or the other. He'll put his head up and run all day long. But so we've struggled with that a little bit and actually had her do lots of forward canter before she does her dressage. And both of these ponies were really difficult to get to bend to the right at all for a long time. And now it's still challenging at times. But they would come in and do their dressage test and just sort of veer through the corners and lean like they were on motorcycles. And what I'm curious about is what they're going to be like when we put them on big horses, whether they can ride that well. And I've actually done it a couple times, and they're good until the horses get really strong, and then it all falls apart. Okay, that's good. Let's jump. Is that good enough dressage? Are they allowed to jump? Yeah? Okay, let's jump before it gets dark. Okay, how about trot this and canter it. Okay? Well, let's just do that first, and then we'll do something a little into the field. So why don't you go first, Elissa? Why don't you both go together? Trot and canter that to the left. And both of these guys started out doing equitation and hunters, and Elissa, I think particularly, has done a lot of that equitation league thing where you get on other people's horses. And I think it's helped. Good. as long as they understand that all that stuff about position isn't about just looking good for a judge, it's about influencing the horse correctly. Good, let him walk, Elissa. Good, all right. So, and Chase has got a reputation in Pony Club as being a crazy kid on a crazy pony, and both of them are going to go for their C2s shortly, and somehow we have to convince, Chase has to convince them that she's not out of control when she's jumping, even though she looks slightly out of control, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so why don't you go first, Elissa, go right lead over that. Come around out into the field and jump the white coop, which is set pretty high, the Dodon Farm coop. Drift right and jump the one with the car tires. Come to the left and jump the white gate, and then come up into the ring and hop over this. Okay? That's your warm-up course. They also, the thing about kids, I find, is they can remember a course when you tell it to them. Oh, Lori. Whereas adults, it's like you have to tell them 4 times. And they still forget. So he's against her hand, which is not good. And he might run away with her out here, we'll see. What he does is he tests her a lot, and he'll sort of cross his jaw like that when he's going to do it. And then when he makes the turn towards home, he'll forget that she's grown up a little bit and strong now, and he'll just bolt. And, you know, a year or two ago, it was really wild. Now she's pretty much able to force him not to do it. Okay, she's coming up over the middle jump here. Okay, good. So what she has not done yet, and what we often do when he's out on the cross country, is to put that bit on the next ring down. It's the 3-ring kind where there's leverage the further down you go. We've never put it at the very bottom, but the next one down creates leverage, and which is what Chase has actually. She's got one with one less ring, but she's got leverage right now, and you'll see why in a minute. This pony looks like a miniature thoroughbred, doesn't he? So she's being good today so far. She's keeping a nice rhythm. But as soon as she sees a long spot, she's going to run for it. She loves it, and then she's going to start going too fast. But what's interesting is that with this pony, they get going fairly fast, but they're not really out of control. And he actually jumps well out of a very forward pace. Sometimes not. And sometimes she'll run through a distance and it's a little bit scary, but not usually. Not as bad as most of us. So he kind of ran at that one a little bit, and then he came right back when he landed. Gonna make a move on this one probably too. Good. Let him walk. Not too bad, huh? Didn't run too bad.
I guess.
Well, he had that one awkward fence. He sort of took a look at it, didn't he, those tires? Good. Yeah, part of what we have to do with these ponies is challenge them enough that they actually pay attention instead of jumping the same old stuff that they always jump, in which case they just really run and they get a little bit obnoxious. So I think there is a little bit of a difference between a pony brain and a horse brain. Some horses have pony brains. But, okay, what do you want to do now? How about jump the come through the one-strided in and out. It's set at 21 feet, so you can do it as a horse or a pony. One or two, but you're probably going to do it as a horse, right? These guys can often make the horse distances. It's amazing. Okay, so come through, jump it, turn left, come around, jump the middle jump, come around and jump the line, 5-stride line, and then do the angle thing that you do, where you jump the middle jump to the black. You can make a little bit of a bend. No, this being the middle jump. Okay, got that. And then come around and do the this thing. The 4 to the 2, but for you guys it'll be 5 and 3. Okay? Got it? Yeah. 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 So what we're going to do here, guys, is they're going to start out just with some basic jumps, and then, including that one that's a little bigger, and then they're going to start angling. So they're going to come around here and come as tight as they can in here, and back. And you can barely find a line between these two jumps. You know, they might come and drift a little bit and make a bit of a bend, but if you can do it on an angle, great. You have to do, and oxers on angles are much harder than verticals on angles, so they're going to have to like jump from here, land over there, jump from there, and land over there. And then they're going to come around here, go way out by the grass, angle this one, find a takeoff spot to it somehow while they're on the perfect line that puts them to that oxer on an angle to the corner. Got it? It's your turn first, Elissa, I guess. And you know, the reason we do these angles and things, they don't have them at Novice like this, but...
Her boots undone.
For what?
Her right front boot.
Oh, come here a sec, listen. They don't have them at Novice, but both of these ponies can run out. And so if these exercises make them, the riders and the ponies, able to hold a line, a really precise line, then holding a line to a perfect wide jump is going to be much easier for them. Because they can run out at these angles really, really easily. That little sucker can jump from anywhere. Good. Alright. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was unexpected. It looked to me like he had a perfect spot. He was good. Okay, let's see what happens here. So even with the nasty little distances, yeah, you can clap. Badass. So, of course, Elissa's saying, that was terrible. Why are they clapping, right? Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, that was terrible. But what was cool is that even when, I mean, like these distances just came up wrong. Like this 2-stride set for horse ain't working for this pony. Sometimes he comes in fairly forward and they work, but that was 2.5 strides there. And the cool thing is that when the striding's wrong and the horse still stays straight, that's an even harder exercise. Because when the striding's wrong, a lot of them are smart and they'll just run out. So he kept them straight. I have no idea why he tripped in there. I mean, it looked to me like he was right on, it was perfect. He just, what do you think happened? Yeah, did you feel it coming at all? Uh-huh. Well, the other good thing is that even though the pony chipped in really bad, she didn't get thrown so far forward with her body. And she managed to put in two, which is unusual for them. I kind of would rather see them add strides, this pair. So Chase likes to go forward. Like she came out of that turn and she just kind of leaned into it like, let's go, baby. And that we're trying to teach her to wait a little bit more. But as a partnership, they figured each other out. And it's hard to improve sometimes on that. Wow, that was nice. All right. This wasn't working. These little suckers are tight as a tick on the ponies, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like, man, they don't budge. It's like they just don't budge, no matter what these little ponies do. Okay, just come around and jump this separately, and then come around and do the three again. Off of a circle. Nikki's never liked the corner much. Ooh, a little hesitation there. And that's that moment where, you know, when they hesitate like he did right there, if she weren't so poised and strong, yeah, you can go ahead and walk. If she weren't so poised and strong in her position, and she had let him go, like, if she had come forward with his shoulders when he propped, he probably would have stopped. But because she held her position and she stayed back and squeezed her legs, so it's kind of like the opposite of the racehorse where we were trying to keep from sitting back and driving. Here is where you need to stay back and drive, because otherwise you go down into it. And that's why people say don't look down as you jump, that kind of stuff, because you're just letting the horse, you're taking your seat off, you're tipping and you're letting the horse go. And that could have been a little bit here, but these guys have learned that even if you're going fast and forward, you've got to stay slightly up when you get there, so they don't just tip and go down. You guys want to do a cross-country course? Okay. Last thing here. It's getting cold, isn't it? It's cold. Okay. We're going to do the cross-country course here. How about you guys jump the... Okay, go out in the field. Jump the blue to the chevron into the ring.
Turning and changing
A little, just put a chevron there. Do the ring over the plank.
I'm like the biggest jumper you'll ever meet. She's like,
Then,
you
make a circle in the ring, okay, just to kind of settle. And then come around and jump. 1, 2, 3. Oxer, skinny, D, okay? And there's water in the bottom of that ditch today. And then go around and come back over the big monster tractor tires. And then come all the way out. Oh, come up here, down over the little log, over the skinny beyond, turn left, and finish up with the red Oxer to the roll pump. Got all that? You got all that? You guys don't need to have all that. You'll see it when it comes, maybe. So the first thing they're going to do is just a basic jump out in the field. 4 horse strides. It'll probably be 5 pony strides. to the chevron between the two barrels. A little bit of an accuracy thing out there. And then they're going to angle 3 horse strides, 4 pony strides maybe, on the angle, jumping off the hill over that green plank. And then they're going to circle up here to give themselves time, because between cross-country things, you need time to settle in your gallop, right? So they needed that. Come around, angle this to the skinny, to the D over the ditch. And then what? Turn around and jump the monster tires. And then the drop, which is you landing on the side of a hill, you go down to a skinny log, and then the red oxer 2 horse strides to the 2 roll tops stacked on top of each other. Okay. Yes, that means that you're going first. You ready to go first? Okay. Elissa has requested crates. I'll tell you in a minute why that happened. It wasn't really her fault, I don't think. There's bare ground right in front of it, I moved it. Another horse earlier today stopped there. Good. Make a circle. Nice little flying change. They both do some perfect little flying changes when everything's all lined up right. Cool thing about ponies is they're quick, huh? So again, that was a 2-stride line, and it was 2.5 for him, you know. And I'm mean, so I don't adjust them. That jump down there, we just put those big tractor tires in closer, and we're moving them closer and closer to make it scarier looking. Whoa! So that's a really small jump that she was just wiggling to, but you're leaving the ring, which they don't like, and then you're landing on the hillside. It's not a complete drop unless you jump too far out, and then it's a big drop. Woo-woo! Hot damn! You can clap. So, Elissa, what I was starting to say is that first one, somebody else stopped at that today who wouldn't normally. The distance was a little wrong, and I moved the jump about 4 feet closer, and it had been sitting there a long time with the barrel. There had been 2 barrels, so there's like bare ground right at the takeoff spot, and they get up and they're in the grass, and all of a sudden there's this bare ground, and they think it might be a ditch. That's why they're. He saw it. Is that what he saw? Yeah. Which means, Elissa, it doesn't mean you have to stop. It means that you just have to sit up, know they're going to prop, keep your leg on, and push through. Okay? This is some crazy shit, isn't it, Hunter lady over there? Millie judges hunters all day and gets so boring. Isn't this much more exciting? That's why neither of their parents are here, are they? Is your mom here?
She's over
Your
there,
dad's
yeah.
here. Oh, they're drinking. That's why they're drinking. Okay, let's see if she gets over it first time.
Of course she will.
Yeah, of course. Oh! When I first set that up there, they were all doing that. Because you're coming up on... Yep, just over the green.
What?
Yeah, just jump the last one, the green. It's a little bit airy. It's got a ground line, but there's a lot of air under it. You're jumping the hill. You're jumping off of the hill a little bit, which really makes it easy to find a good takeoff spot. They can always add a stride to it, but it's on an angle enough that they're invited to run out to the left. So she just made the angle more steep and did it. So you can see, he's still a little bit pissed off about the bit, but Elissa has learned that it's not his head that you need to control to the jump, it's his body. And so, wow, she got the 2. It's his body. So when you're on a horse and it's going like this, fighting with its head on the way to the jump, it's really hard not to think, oh my God, I've got to control his head before I get there. But in fact, it's not his head that does the jumping. The best thing you can do is just follow and stay focused on the jump, and the horse will too, hopefully. It's not great, but you don't want to ruin the jump just because his head's up in the air. Oh my goodness, he does not want to go that way. Neither of them did.
No, that was hard.
Oh, are they looking at that camera on the tripod over there?
I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, you can fly into it too. Okay, let's see if she gets the 2 or the 3. Anybody want to place bets? I think it's going to do the 2. Yeah. Nope, now it's going to be 3. She stalled at the first one because she got in real deep, and so that gave her 3. But he stayed straight. Good job. So aren't these guys awesome?
Yeah.
We started to make a video, and we were going to make an internet sensation with them. It was going to be the Pony Power video, and then we ran out of battery, and then we never finished. Yeah. So hopefully when they graduate to horses, they'll still have all these skills, right?
And so when will that be?
When will that be? Good question.
Now, for me.
Yeah, Chase is not sentimental. Elissa never wants to outgrow her pony. Chase is ready for her big horse, right?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with Nikki?
Well, my mom wants to keep him because she's attached.
Oh,
And you're not?
Too.
I mean,
You
yeah.
would cry your little eyes out.
I will.
You know
I
it.
will.
Yeah,
But, well, we'll throw him at my house.
you probably will. You'll keep him forever, and you'll probably keep that one forever, won't you? Yeah, yeah. So we have pizza and beer.